Welcome to the next phase of your rhetoric training, a briefing on the rhetorical situation. In the last lesson, you learned that every form of communication involves rhetoric. Likewise, every form of rhetoric involves its own rhetorical situation, that is, a set of circumstances or conditions that influence a person's use of rhetoric. Essentially, the situation creates the rhetoric. What does the rhetorical situation look like? Since each situation is unique, the whole can only be described by its parts. To introduce the parts and players of the rhetorical situation, we've divided them into 4 categories: who, what, why, and how. Let's begin with the who. The rhetor is the person using or creating the rhetoric, usually a writer or a speaker. Next, we have the audience, the person or people reading or listening to the rhetor, or more specifically, the individual or group for whom the rhetoric is intended. Many rhetorical situations include 3 types of audiences: the general audience, anyone who might see or hear the rhetoric; the primary or target audience, the specific group the reader wanted to reach; and the secondary audience, people who weren't directly targeted but become interested or involved. For example, a newspaper publishes a report on a statewide college tuition increase. The general audience would be whoever reads the report. The primary or target audience might be the college students who will have to pay higher tuition. The secondary audience might be legislators who decide to push for more affordable education. The what of the rhetorical situation includes 2 interrelated parts: the issue, the topic or problem which the rhetor addresses, and the context, the situation or event prompting the reader to respond. You might think of the context as the current events relating to a certain issue, what is happening right now, or what has led up to the most recent event. The context can include what other people are saying, writing, or doing about the issue. The context provides the rhetor's motivation for entering this larger conversation and contributing to it. Which leads to our next part: why the rhetor responds to any given issue. That would be the purpose, the goal that the rhetor wants the writing or speech to accomplish. Every form of rhetoric we use has a purpose, even if it isn't immediately obvious. Our purpose here at Rhetoric Recon is to train you for your rhetorical analysis assignment. But how do rhetors achieve their purpose? Through skillful communication. As a process, communication simply means presenting, expressing, or sharing information and ideas with someone. As an object, communication refers to the message itself or the medium used to relay it. In other words, the means by which the rhetor chose to communicate. At Rhetoric Recon, we use different types of media: words, visuals, documents, websites, quizzes, even games. Each medium belongs to its own genre, its own type or category, often of speech or text. Knowing the genre and medium can give you clues as to what to expect from the rhetor's communication. Now that we've looked at the parts, let's see how they fit together and relate to each other. One common depiction of the rhetorical situation is the rhetorical triangle. The triangle illustrates how the rhetor connects to the audience through the communication. Other versions of the rhetorical triangle replace communication with purpose to show a similar relationship, but the triangle leaves out several important parts. This version of the rhetorical triangle shows the context as surrounding the entire rhetorical situation. While it is true that the context informs the rhetoric, readers can choose how they want to operate within that context, which means they may not be completely constrained by it. This model, the telescope model, shows the rhetorical situation as beginning with a broad context and narrowing down step by step to the communication. This concludes today's training lesson. Now that you've examined the parts of the rhetorical situation and seen how they relate to each other, you're ready to move on to the L2 training exercises.